Today we're talking about filling our cornucopia, which I brought my cornucopia there because you'll see why. Okay. Our topic is, for this entire month, is a cornucopia of good. And there really is no better way to fill that cornucopia of good than to be grateful for the good which is already in our lives. That's where we start, right? We start with what we're grateful for. And that's what we will do today as we bring this Thanksgiving holiday weekend to a close. We're not jumping into the holiday Christmas season just yet. Just get through it. I know, but... So, how many of you remember the book several years ago titled The Hidden Messages in Water? And it was by the Japanese scientist Marasu Emoto. And this is where he discusses and displays exquisite photographs of frozen water crystals that have been exposed to various music and messages and thoughts. People actually thought about, they'd sit around and they'd hold a bottle of water and they'd think certain thoughts. And then they would analyze the crystals that were formed. Or perhaps you saw him and saw his work in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? He was in there too. Do you remember what message produced the most beautiful and delicate crystal?
Love?
Yes, actually, that was part of it. Yes. Emoto described the crystal like this. It was as if the water rejoiced and celebrated by creating a flower in bloom. The crystal flower in bloom was created when the water was exposed to the words love, as Barb said, and gratitude. I have a picture of it here, which I can pass around. So I can take a look at that. That was when they held the water and they thought thoughts of love and gratitude. Wow. Love and gratitude have transformative powers. Today our focus is on the transformative power of gratitude, which of course is an expression of love, right? In Psalm 126:3, it is written, "The Lord has done great things for us, whereof we are joyful." Ernest Holmes, in The Science of Mind, on page 447, wrote, "If we wish to come to the Spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come in peace and with spontaneous joy, for the Spirit is joy. Let us come with thanksgiving also, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life." Eric Butterworth, in Spiritual Economics, wrote, "What Paul does say is, in all things give thanks." In other words, despite the problems of lack, or even because of them, the need is to get yourself recentered in the awareness of the ever-presence of substance. And the most effective way to accomplish this is by thanksgiving. Paul is stressing the importance of a grateful heart, not simply an expression of gratitude for things, but a heart that is grateful or full of greatness. Today, in a variety of ways, we're going to fill our cornucopia of good by being grateful. So, what do we have to be grateful for? What are our blessings? Well, to put things in perspective, let me share with you some historical information. How many of you sew? See, well, look at this. Okay. Listen to this. In colonial America, the manufacture of clothing at home was a time-consuming, never-ending task. Because it took nearly a year and a half to create linen from flax, a man's shirt often wore out by the time a woman could complete a new one. Imagine that. If you think your job is hard, consider the conductor of a train in Wales who has to call out the name of this station every single day. And I can't even say this, but I will. This is the name of the station he has to call out every single day. I'll pass that around.
This is actually one of the stations they stop at.
That's one of the names of the stops, yes.
You would have to sing that one.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't think so. Like Lane Fair, Wilgawina, Gold Grade. Yeah, there's just no way.
Our next stop is a lot of words.
Okay, and ladies, this is for you. The average gestation period for an elephant is 640 days, which is almost 2 years. And you thought 9 months was a long time. And gentlemen, this is for you. It's the male penguin's job to incubate the egg, resting it on top of his feet to protect it from the ice. He must stand perfectly still, not even moving to eat, for he must conserve his body temperature to keep the egg warmer than the surrounding snowy area. So imagine that.
How many days? How many days?
I don't know. It doesn't say. 3. Oh, 20 minutes. That's enough. Okay, I love this. And I swear I thought we were at my dad's cabin, and I thought his microwave was the very first microwave ever made. Seriously, this thing is, you know, when you put your thing, it's like, oh yeah. I thought, oh.
Can you turn in the dial?
Oh, no, it doesn't have a dial. It does have but it's, yeah, I thought it was the first, but apparently not. The first microwave oven, called the Radar Range, was as tall as a refrigerator. It weighed 750 pounds, took an electrician to install it. I think his probably weighs close to that, but took an electrician to install it, needed to be hooked up to plumbing because it required water, and cost up to $3,000. So, no, he wouldn't have paid that, so. Okay, and finally, this is so all of you can count your blessings this morning. The longest sermon on record was delivered by a minister in West Richland, Washington in 1955. It lasted 48 hours and 18 minutes. A congregation of 8 was still present at the sermon's end. Bless those hardy souls. I don't think, I'm not even going to test that one. So see how much we really have to be grateful for, really. I never go that long. You know, we're always out of here by 11, not a problem. Thanksgiving is a time for personal and national contemplation of the blessings of life. It's truly a time to fill our cornucopia with good. And as I said, we're going to do that today in a number of ways. First, I want to begin by counting each and every one of you as a blessing in this spiritual community. And I want to do that by acknowledging and having you stand, okay? So anyone who's ever given of their time, talent, and service in any way to this center, please stand and stay standing. And now anyone who's ever donated anything, food, chairs, computers, paper, money, anything, stand and stay standing.
You carry it or just
Anyone who's ever has added their consciousness to the collective consciousness that we are, stand. Collective consciousness? Collective consciousness? Okay. You see, you're all blessings to this center and to me. And I count each and every one of you. So give yourselves a hand. And in honor and in gratitude for you, and since I can't put all of you in this cornucopia of good, I'm going to place a small symbol in there. You can all sit down now.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm going to put this small symbol of all of you represent in this cornucopia of good right here. Maybe. There we go. All right. All right.
yeah, do that.
Next, I want to celebrate and be grateful for the fact that we have never made these kinds of errors, which actually appeared in various church bulletins. One of them reads, Thursday night, there's a potluck supper, prayer and medication to follow. Remember in prayer the many who are sick of our church and community. Okay. The rosebud on the altar this morning is to announce the birth of David Allen Smith, the sin of Reverend and Mrs. Julia Smith. Tuesday at 5 p.m. there will be a meeting of the Little Mothers Club. All ladies wishing to be little mothers will meet with the pastor in his study. And finally, next Sunday, a special collection will be taken to defray the cost of the new carpet. All those wishing to do something on the new carpet will come forward and do so now. I sure hope this was not the blessing of the animals Sunday, because they would just not, yeah. Okay, so I really count my blessings, and did I bring up I was going to bring up a program, but maybe I didn't. Anyway, I was going to put one of our programs in there for our pretty straightforward and easy to read program. I also have such a deep and abiding gratitude for the gift of our treasurer, who serves on our board, who keeps us financially organized. Suzanne, this is for you. This is going into our... Yes. That's money flying in and flying out, because we appreciate the flow. We keep the flow going. So please join me in thanking Suzanne. And you know what? Here's what I want everyone to do. I want everyone, except for Suzanne, to stand. This is your standing ovation. Thank you. Okay. In many churches in England, somewhere in the church is inscribed, think and thank. I like that. Maybe when we get our building, we can do something like that. Think and thank.
We could do that here.
We can. We can make a sign, and we can do that here. I like that. Do you think they'd notice in between the G and the A?
I was thinking about writing fingers on there, see if you noticed.
Okay, so think of your family and friends, of course, but also the technicians, the doctors, the service people, the teachers, the inventors, Apple. Okay, wait. Publishers, babysitters, craftsmen, and artists who also enhance your lives. All of those people who enhance your lives and bring joy to your lives and make it easier. Many years ago, after attending a prosperity class, I started to practice something that I do off and on now when I write checks, especially when I'm paying my bills, but my husband does most of the bill paying now. But as I remember to do this, I try to do it more and more often. And I think actually Rich does this too. I thank each person as I'm writing this check for the service and the blessings that I receive from them. So like when we pay PG&E, especially this last time was great because it was the lowest I think it's ever been. I really give thanks for the electricity and gas, especially when we came home to a cold house, to be able to flip on that heater and have it heat up. It was awesome. As I pay the dentist bill, I thank and bless the dentist for keeping all of our smiles in good order. When we pay for our water, I think, wow, I am grateful for water. If you've ever had your water shut off, all of a sudden you think, oh, wow, that really is inconvenient to have your water shut off. And I spend a moment in thankfulness that we have the resources. We have the resources to pay these bills, and it really feels good. And of course, we thank God for all of these blessings. So I write, thank you, God, on the checks, not just T-Y-G, thank you, God. I know Polly does this too.
I actually found checks. Have you ever noticed my checks that says, I am blessed, printed on them?
Oh, I think you need to write me one, and then I'll notice. Yeah. So I don't have a check with me, but vision me putting a check into this Cornucopia because I'm thankful that I have checks and have the ability to pay the bills that I have, and that is something I feel truly blessed to be able to do. In the Science of Mind magazine on Thanksgiving Day a couple of years ago was a story by Reverend Nancy Zala on her first day as the practitioner. She was the children's practitioner at the Agape International Center for Truth. And you've been there, yeah. Do you know her?
Huh?
No, you don't, okay. She began by praying with the babies in the nursery. She formed the toddlers in a circle. The oldest was about 3. Now these are little ones, right? And she said, we're going to do a prayer of thanks, and I wish you each to name one thing that you love, something for which you are grateful. She waited in heavy silence. Finally, she smiled down to the little girl on her left, who shook her head sadly. Reverend Nancy said, that's okay, Rafaela passes. The silence continued halfway around the circle as each child shyly passed until they got to Brian. Now, Brian was 3 years old, and he burst out. He said, I am grateful for pets and food and cows and berries and flowers and rain and videos and stars and chicken soup and yellow crayons and butterflies and clouds. As if he'd been waiting all of his life to be asked what he was grateful for, because he knew it, and he knew it right away, right? When he finished, the rest of the children fearlessly began to shout out, for firemen, for my mommy, for my hamster. Even little Rafaela piped up and said, for my face. She was grateful for her face. Reverend Nancy wrote, I was ecstatic at the barrage of loving gratitude in these little ones. I opened my eyes to know how delighted they were to be heard, to be counted, as we were all swept away in their delight in living. Sometimes it takes the children to remind us how delightful it is to live, doesn't it? Well, we're not all under 3 here this morning, but I want us to do something similar. I want us this morning to be swept up and swept away in our delight of living by doing an exercise. Are you guys willing to do this? Yeah? Okay. From your seat right where you are, I want you to raise your hand, and when I point to you, I want you to shout out one thing that you're grateful for, and you can do this more than once. But I just want to kind of keep it going. So think about this for a moment. The goal is to keep it going, and you can do it more than once. And that is if you have more than one thing to be grateful for. I'm sure you do. So let's start. When you have something to be grateful for, raise your hand.
Family.
My wife.
My hubby. My children. The beautiful color of the leaves.
My job.
Yes. Your
Mentor.
mentor. Awesome.
Life.
Life.
My clean carpet. My carpet.
I know.
Flowers.
Flowers.
Well,
My room and roommate. Relationships.
Relationships. Awesome.
Friends.
Friends.
Roses.
Roses. This is great. See, this keep going, don't they? Family.
Are
Yes.
we grateful for money?
Yes. Yes. Because it's the flow. We're grateful for the flow, aren't we? We're grateful for what money does
To
for
give it and
us.
spend it.
Yes. Yes. And keeping it.
My job.
Your job. Yes. Wonderful.
Having learned to exercise.
Love it.
Yeah, my church.
Church. Love it.
The work center.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Isn't that fun? It's fun to do that. Do you feel the energy? I mean, everybody really feels just totally blessed, right? It's wonderful. So, let's take a deep breath. Breathe in. What if right now you have a heavy burden in your life? In fact, you don't feel particularly blessed right now because there's some circumstance in your life which is weighing on you. I think it's really safe to say that we've all been there. We've all had times when we've been fearful, angry, disappointed, frustrated with life. We've all been in those moments. And in one way, shape, or form, each of us probably has some of that going on somewhere in our lives right now. There's something that isn't the way we would like it to be. It may be minor, it may be a little more than just minor. But what if, even in the middle of that, we engaged in prayers of gratitude for all of the things in our life that are right, but that related to what isn't? Okay, this is from Dr. Joan Borysenko in her book Gratitude, A Way of Life. She writes, "May you be blessed with the gift of remembering. Take a moment and give thanks for 5 things in your life that don't need healing. Throughout your day, when you find yourself stuck in awfulizing the things that seem wrong, remember to say a prayer of gratitude for all of the things that are right." There's a wise Yiddish adage that says, if we thanked God for all the good things, there wouldn't be time to weep over the bad. Okay, you may notice that there's gratitude slips on your chair this morning. I invite you to take a prayerful moment and write down at least 5 things in your life that are just right, but that relate to an area of your life that you think isn't. For example, if you have a financial concerns right now and you're not sure how you will pay your rent at the first of next month, write down 5 ways in which you are richly abundant now. You see how that kind of relates to that? So you have food to eat, you have clothes on your back, you have transportation, you have a roof over your head, you are rich in friends and family, etc. Does this make sense? Okay. So go ahead and write down the 5 things that are right.
If you don't have a writing instrument, just think it.
Is it one area in your life too? Just one area? of
No, you can do more than that. You can do more than that. And Suzanne, if you have an extra pen.
That's
I'm looking for one I may have, but you can.
Okay.
I'm gonna be quick because I have it all in my head.
Okay. I think there's one over here.
Oh, Rich.
but, oh, thank you.
Abundance and works. This is wonderful.
That's true. The lack of Duns and Dragons.
When you're finished doing that, when you're finished filling them out, fold them and bring them and put them in our Cornucopia of Good. And I'm going to go ahead and play I Am So Blessed while we're doing this.
I am so
That won't do that when we have our musician playing for us.
We won't have Karen.
We won't care, but that's okay because we have other beautiful singers who sing right along. So, okay, we're just about done. You can keep doing it. When you're done, you can bring it up here. So we'll just go ahead and do our offering and Thanksgiving affirmation right now. And we do have a basket back there, and we are so thankful for the support that we have for our center. But I'm not going to do that just yet because I really want to finish what I'm talking about really quickly. Remember the message from the water crystal. Our bodies have that high percentage of water in them. So think about the effect when we have Thanksgiving and love and gratitude just on our physical bodies because we're so much water. I'm sure as a nurse you've seen that happen. And it's just absolutely amazing. Ernest Holmes wrote, "If we wish to come to the Spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come in peace and with spontaneous joy, for the Spirit is joy. Let us come with thanksgiving also, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life." So from this point forward, let us regularly fill our cornucopia of good by filling our hearts with gratitude and love. And let's know that that is truly the way that we choose to live. And so it is.